Hey, it's your girl Yolanda Neely, and I have the honor, the privilege of being with one of the ladies that I've admired for many years. Big Les in the house. How you doing?
Hey, Mama Neely, how you doing,
I
lady?
am wonderful. Girl, we have been following your career for so many years, and you still here. You still fly.
I'm hanging, honey. I'm hanging on by a thread. Thank
Oh
you.
my
I'm trying.
goodness. For folks who don't know you, some of the younger people, tell everybody who is Big Les, how you started in the game.
Oh, the history is long and strong. Thank you, Jesus. I started in this industry as a dancer, backup round dancer, doing music videos, touring for everybody and their mother. Artists like Mary J. Blige, Heavy D, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown. Became a dancer and then transitioned into a choreographer. Um, and then I toured for so many years, still choreographing and working, and got an opportunity to perform on Video LP, which is a show by Madeline Woods, which was really big on BET, Black Entertainment Television. And
Hmm.
she had me come on as a guest as a dancer. I performed on the show as a dancer and a choreographer and sat on the chair and talked to her. And then the producers upstairs realized that I knew so many people that I had toured with on a personal level, things that like Google wasn't even around then. That's how old we are, right?
Right. I'm
Um,
telling.
but we had the, relationships because I spent hours upon hours in rehearsals and on tour bus, and I've seen them all without their wigs and their lashes, and I'm around their families and everything. And so they were like, why not have a girl host Rap City? And of course, at that time, females had to be ushered in, whether you were a rapper or anything. Queen Latifah had Flavor Unit. It was Little Kim,
Mhm.
and she had, Lil Junior Mafia, and all these people had representatives. And so the female voice was kind of small in hip hop still. Um,
Absolutely.
and there was Dee Barnes from Pump It Up, who was probably like my first example of a female in hip hop who had the mic. And so
Mhm.
when I auditioned for the show about 2 or 3 times, and the producers loved me, but they had to, of course, convince the people upstairs, the men especially, for one, being eye candy for them in all kinds
Right.
of ways of the words. And but thank God I had so much label support and artist support that they were like, we've known Liz since she was, they would be on the cipher before they had deals, and I'd be in the circle battling, and they'd like, oh no, she knows our story, we know her, we trust her. And so I stayed at BET for about seven years, and during that time I ended up getting into radio. They when a DJ that's already at a station goes on vacation, they'll bring in celebrity people to kind of sit in. And
Absolutely.
it just so happened that Wendy Williams was on probation for something in New York at Hot 97. So they brought me in for the week. And next thing you know, they offered me weekends, and then they offered me the morning show with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. And then Big Boy in LA was looking for a
Mhm.
co-host. And so I ended up being there with him and still doing Rap City at the same time. And still choreographing at the same time. So I was, all these multiple jobs. And so it's been a blessing. And that's kind of been the journey thus far as I've moved into still choreographing and directing and all that other stuff now.
Gosh, you're talking about some of these young people's lifetime that you have done so much. I mean,
Hmm.
we've been watching you, like I said, for years. Fly Girls, the Fly on the show with Jennifer Lopez, one of the Fly. Didn't you train her?
No, I'm not. I
Okay.
was never see, everyone gets Living Color and Living Single confused just because the titles are
Ah,
similar. So I was never a
okay.
fly girl, even though I've danced on Living Color with artists that performed at the end of the show.
Okay. That's what
But
happened.
I'm the girl who's dancing on the beginning of Living Single, the Queen Latifah show.
Okay,
Same
that's
thing.
right. See, and you know what? How does that feel? Because it's like still in syndication. I mean, you sit there, you can watch episode after episode, and there you go. And there
It's
you go.
it's amazing. It's crazy because with, the birth of social media, people have remade that intro a
Hmm.
gazillion times. And,
Hmm.
as they say, the best imitation in life, the best imitation of art. Art is, imitation, and, is the best compliment.
Exactly.
And I get so many versions of it. And so when we thought that they were going to do the show again, myself and Otis Salid, who's the directographer who hired me for that, was like, let's do it again. And I'm like, okay, I still got a few backflips left. Let's go. But they weren't, they didn't redo the show. They were just showing reruns. So we were like, all right, we'll opt out for now.
Wow. But I know it's got to really kind of trip you out because I was like, it has to be what, 20 something years ago?
Yeah, it's a
And
long time,
a long
probably
time.
longer than that. It's
It's
crazy,
like,
probably about that time because we just celebrated 30 years since Remember the Time was
mm,
done. And I think Living Single, excuse me, came. either right before or right after, I can't remember the timeline. So when you say
Mhm.
those numbers, I'm like, "How could that be? I'm only 25. What do you mean?" It said 30
Girl, you
years.
and me both. Hey, you and me, we're only 25. We're not gonna
Yeah.
take that. But see, you
Oh,
know what? I have to say it because you know other folks say black don't crack and we still look good.
right.
I
Absolutely,
mean, because look at your
absolutely.
skin, look at you. I mean, you look young, you look like you still out here you're doing it, and you are still out here doing it. So that's what's so
Thank
awesome
you.
about it. You know, where are you from?
I'm from Queens, New York, all day, every day.
What part of Queens?
I'm from East Elmhurst, Corona. So I grew up with Kid and Play, Herbie Lovebug, DJ Wiz. Like they're Herbie and Kid and Play are a little older than me, but Wiz and
Mhm.
I were always in the same class. Me and Positive K are the same age ish. So I grew up with that camp, like literally on the handball court and all that other stuff. They went to school with one of my siblings, and so yeah, I've known them a long time.
I
So
gotta tell you, I'm from Hollis.
yes,
I'm from Hollis.
Queens.
I'm from Hollis.
Okay,
Went to
round the way,
Jackson.
girl.
Okay, went to Jackson.
That's
Okay.
oh, whoo, Andrew Jackson High School, I know.
See? Oh my God.
They
Not
had
too
that
many people know.
reputation.
Okay,
I
I grew up around the corner from Run
Mhm.
and all of them. Yeah, they're on
Yeah,
205th Street. I'm on 205th Place. So, you know, when I had to interview them in Nashville, you not from no Hollis. I was like, I'm from Hollis. What you doing
right.
here? So, I mean, I'm so proud of folks from Queens. They people don't understand. We have, I mean, from LL to you to Run DMC, we
Yeah,
have to Nas. I mean, that's
seriously, like
Queensbridge
Cool
right.
G Rap, like there's so many of us that are from Queens. It's just like I don't know what's in our water in our borough, but I'll take it. So thank
I
you.
I don't know. One day, I don't know if you heard of, you know, Doc Winter, right?
Of
From
course.
iHeart. Okay, big boy. We sitting down there talking. He said, "Yo, where you from?" I said, "From Queens." He said, "Where?" I said, "Hollis." He said, "What street?" And we just he grew up like up the street from me. It's like crazy. Yeah, we do rap. We rep this industry, you
Mhm.
know, all over this country. So that is so good to hear. That put a smile on my face right there.
Yes.
Queens girl in the house repping. So what you got going on now? What's up with you?
Well, as I mentioned, it's, when I looked at careers, my mother would always say, because I went to college on a gymnastics scholarship. I went to Springfield College on full gymnastics scholarship. She'd always
Okay.
be like, "Well, you can't flip for the rest of your life. What are you going to do?" And she's still in shock today that, my gymnastics got me as far as it has. Like, really,
Mhm,
that's been my foundation. But when I look at careers like Debbie Allen, she kind of gave everybody the blueprint about what's next, going
mhm.
into acting, going into producing, going into directing and stuff. And so I'm on that page right now, even though I still want to check the box of my superhero ness and be the new Pam Grier millennial with while I can still backflip and all that.
I hear you.
But I'm working. It started off as a documentary, now it's turned into kind of like a limited series. So I'm in pitch mode. We shot some stuff before COVID and just trying to lock a deal so that I can match my counterparts like Ryan Seacrest and Carson Daly and have the kind of deals and paychecks and not just be the chick holding the mic, while they tell our
Trust me.
stories.
Trust me, I understand.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm almost working on close to 40 years of this, and, you know, the fellas get paid, you know, it's
Right.
really hard for the ladies to demand those type of dollars in the business,
Absolutely.
so, you know, but you know what? I'm still here, you're still here, so we still standing, I'm so proud of you to get ready to do your thing. So you have your own production company and everything now?
Yeah, I got a team behind me and
Hmm,
it's I trust them. They have the vision that I have, which is really great. And as much as I want to be on that only hire females, the females that I asked were working on other projects at the time, which is a beautiful thing. So I kind of
mhm.
had to get people who could kind of share my story, and then maybe along the lines or within when we get into full production and get this deal on the table, I can get all my females on board. So
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. That is gonna be so nice. That is so dope. So we're definitely looking forward to all those good things that are happening to you and so positive. And again, for you to still be in the game, you know, not to just like you said, your mom was like, okay, well, I quit. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. I'm too old to do a backflip, but you know, you still rocking it.
oh yeah, that's my energy, my mentality has always been that. And I don't know if it has to do with an athlete, being an athlete, or having, women around me, strong women in my family who are just, quitting is just really not an option. And I'm always somebody like, I've come this far and that thing is like
Mhm,
right there around the corner. You know what I mean? Like that
mhm.
that it only takes one deal, one gig, one something to catapult you. And as long as this journey has been, I'm still not the richest person on the planet. And if this next deal or phase of my life can help me, get that house and get this whatever for my mom, and I'm here for it. But being an artist in this sense, it feeds your soul, and having to do anything else is like torture, right? Because there are times where the phone stops ringing, you know what I mean? And now I'm in a place where it's like you still got to worry about sexism and ageism and all this other stuff. So the phone doesn't ring as often because they always want the 20-year-old who has no experience. So now they want somebody who's got 8 million followers because they were on a reality show and punch somebody in the face. And I'm like, what are you kidding me? That doesn't mean they can
Mhm.
read a cue card, or that doesn't make them Oscar worthy or an actress worthy, but they just want their followers. So the politics and the politics are so apparent right now. But those of us who are true to the art form, we I think are so used to everything being long form. Remember, we didn't
Mhm.
have Google at our fingertips. We were
Not at all.
411, we were the yellow pages, we were knocking on doors, we were pounding the pavement. And those of us have a work ethic and a hunger that will supersede the easy, let me just post something and blah blah blah.
And,
So
I think of it as well as seasoning.
mhm.
You're seasoned, and people, they lose sight of that, 'cause I'm like you. I mean, when I lost my last gig, I was out for 2 years,
Right.
and I just I did little things here and there, started my own little radio station, did stuff there, but you're right, the ageism, all of that starts to kick in, so we have to work even harder now than we
Absolutely.
were when we were younger because of the fact that we're older, and which I
Yeah.
don't understand because but the fact is that you got the skills and you're seasoned and you got the talent.
Thank you. It's so
And
funny because I posted on my Instagram this thing that Nicki Minaj had said in some interview. And a lot of people, whether you love her or hate her or think that she doesn't have talent, she's just popular, she would say that the reason why you hear a lot of these artists now because it's popularity versus talent. And
Mhm,
I don't care what anybody says. I'm up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing the work. I've always been that person. And I dare somebody to tell me that I don't have the skills to be a dancer or a choreographer, regardless of what my resume says, in other words, and now that it's switched over to popularity, sure, it's like it's heartbreaking. And for those who studied at Juilliard and studied at, the Black Theater, Black Harlem, or wherever you studied, it's frustrating. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And my mother's like, please don't go on a reality show. Please don't embarrass the family. I'm like, Mom, but if I punch her in the face or throw a drink, I could have a book deal by tomorrow. But I
There
was
you
like,
go.
yeah, but I wouldn't do that to the legacy that I have so far. You know what I
Right,
mean? I've
right.
never had to get on my knees. I've never had to be naked. I've spent my whole life on display as it is in a leotard on balance beam on the dance floor. You know what I mean? In a costume. So, but I also thank God I'm book smart and street smart, knock on wood. So I,
Mhm.
have other skills that it doesn't have to be that for me.
For the young girls, especially being women of color and you doing gymnastics and stuff like that. I mean, now we're at an age, but we the best gymnastic gymnast in the world, Simone Biles. We could look and see us is up there. I mean, when you were starting out, was it like strong? Was it hard for you to get past that because you didn't see a lot of us at that time?
Yeah, the only people I really had was like Diane Durham, who rest in peace, died within the last 2 years, and like Betty Oniko, and they
Hmm.
were like national champions and junior Olympics and stuff like that. But other than that, it was just me in my
Hmm.
community, in my in the New York State, and I became regional champ and state champ and all these things. But I'm also was the tallest too. I was like
Okay.
5, I was probably 5'4" then. I'm 5'6" now, 140 pounds when they consider me like a power gymnast. So people expect all eyes on you to see, one, what this little black girl can do, two, what can this girl this size do when everybody else is so small.
Hmm.
So it's always been like that for me, even as I transitioned into a dancer, because everybody else seems so much smaller on camera and I'm really average size. I just happen to be really muscular when I'm like in my best condition. So
Hmm.
but you
Wow.
just my team, I had two great teams. I'm a child of the YMCA, so my YMCA gymnastic team, which is a team that helped me get to a full scholarship to college, and my college team. I was the only white girl on both those teams, and there was only one black guy on my college team. But they are more of my family than anybody I know on this planet. We grew up together
Wow.
since we were all 10. We had our periods together, started dating for the first time, had sex with and we still are connected and together and we see each other all the time and they know my deepest darkest secrets and they're my family. So And
That's good.
I had an amazing coach. Saying I can't was never an option because there was punishment, and so that's kind of the things you take to through with you, through your
Mm,
career. I'm always on time. I'm probably the only person on the planet who's still always on time, with the exception
wow.
of me. What happened earlier today, but and it's when things are out of my hand, and it's like, okay, so
Right,
I have to
right.
fix that. But you know,
You will, you will. It's she's referring to a call that we were on previously that I jumped off. So, I knew I was gonna sit down and have this conversation with you. So they were waiting on you on the other call. I'm like, but then I saw you pop up on my call. I said, bye.
Uh, and listen, I've known James Ruby. Love you, James. We're
Mhm.
family since my freshman days in college. I had a incident where I'm having my whole central air replaced, and these
Okay.
guys had to come back, and then they had a snafu, and I got distracted with them, and I was like, "Oh snap!" And I hear the phone ringing, my alarm and all this stuff, but I can't leave them unattended because I'm.
Right.
So it just. So
It's all
yeah.
good though. But the good news is that you here and we get to sit down and, chop it up just a little bit. So the future, Big Les, I still call you
Oh,
Big Les. I can't get away from the Big Les because that's who you've been, my whole lifetime seems like,
it's
for
so
the past.
funny. When I
Mhm.
I was gonna do another show with BET, they were gonna try and just kind of like elevate it. So this was when Donnie and Sherry kind of left the network or got ushered
Okay.
out, whatever story you want to hear. But myself and Brett Walker we're doing another show called Unreal. And so they were gonna just say have me be as Les or Leslie Segar. But
Mhm.
everybody who came on has known me for so long. So they'd be like, Big Les, Big Les. And they'd be like, all right, stop tape, we gotta do it again. And then it just became too time consuming and too expensive for them to have to keep stopping. I was like, just let it fly. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. I mean, because that's who we know you, and I mean, for
Mhm.
you to have that type of following and have that name, and you talking about everybody, all the artists, everybody gonna come on. They're gonna like Big Les, this is my girl, Big Les. So, because
Yeah.
that's who you are to
I,
us,
I receive it. I receive
But
and I didn't even name myself that. It's just,
really,
oh
who
no.
named you? Who
Who names himself that? Um
exactly?
Yeah, but it's what it is when I started dancing, um, I remember working on one video set and the AD, the assistant director, had known we'd worked together a long time, but it was a new director. And they had hired somebody who was supposed to be a gymnast to do some stuff and some trampoline work, and they were horrible. And so I was like, let me do it, let me do it. And so I'd be in the corner so that the director could actually see me, even though the assistant director knew it. And then he was like, so who's the big girl doing the backflips? And he'd be like, oh, that's just Big Les. That's just Les. And they'd be like, well, Big Les, come here. And then literally that's what everybody started calling me, and that's kind of how it stuck. So,
Wow, and
mhm,
and it wasn't like we didn't refer to you as big, like overweight or just big because you just
mhm.
always stood out, and she's a statuesque black woman, so here she is, so but it was always meant in pride, so I guess that's probably why you did like, okay, I'm Big
I,
Les, I'll
yeah, I
take
take
it,
it. I
I'll
mean, but
take it.
for me, it's like what big eyes, big nose, big lips. I've been wearing a bra since the third grade. It's like I got thick thighs, big booty. So I'll take it. Small waist, and it's all good.
Hey, you can rock it, you can jump, flip it that I know folks can't do, so, hey,
Mhm.
I'm hip. I'm glad you've taken that, and you've taken it with love, so, we're looking forward to your next thing, your next
Thank
level.
you.
I mean, we are very excited about that for you because, you're definitely, you're the truth here, you're the truth.
Thank you,
You're
Mama.
you're a
Thank you.
general in this game, so,
Yes,
everybody
ma'am.
needs to you know, take heed to what you've
Yeah.
been doing to make you have any advice to the younger dancers or gymnasts how to stay in the game for as long as you have?
Ooh, don't get comfortable. Complacency is the kiss of death. So no matter how
Mm,
good you think you are, please don't believe that there's not somebody behind you who's stalking your moves and trying to do 10 better. Come up with a new trick or new skills. Make sure you're versed in everything. Even if your specialty is hip hop or ballet, you better learn jazz, you better learn tap, you better learn African, you better learn some gymnastics, you better learn it all. And one thing that I'm really adamant about saying now, especially even for the men, but for mostly for the females, is that because the majority of my career, college and otherwise, has been because of my physicality, my physical ability, is that thinking about your future and stopping down to have a family. And for
Mm,
us, we grew up in a time where being pregnant on camera was not the thing, right? Now it's a
mm,
whole other thing where they embrace it. But back then, and we're talking the 90s, they were like, oh no, you got to shoot her from the neck up and then you got to lose the weight right away. It was this whole big thing. And so I didn't stop time wise to like really nurture having a family. And I was in a long, like a 17-year relationship, and 5-year relationship. Like, and I thought I was going to have like 3 and 4 or 5 kids. And I look up and I'm like, how old am I? Wait, what? So I say
mhm,
that to the women who are female dancers out there, or gymnasts or athletes or whatever. Think about what that looks like for you, and that you're going to miss about a year or two of work, unless you have all of that stuff in place. And for the gentleman that you have the child with, he got to think about that too, even if he is a performer, and what that looks like too. So,
mhm.
plan it out so that you don't miss out on life.
That's really good advice. I mean, I wish somebody would have told me that even when I started in radio, because you jumped around. I jumped around a lot,
Hmm.
and I wasn't able to have. You spend 5 years here, 7 years here. That men ain't gonna follow you all over the country like
Right,
you're
right.
doing this business. So yeah, I miss that. I miss that moment of settling down and having
Hmm.
a child because you had to make that choice, and it was
Yeah.
like I I love what I do. I don't think I would be happy doing something else because this is what I do.
Absolutely. I love every single blessing that I have had along the way.
Mhm,
I would
mhm.
love to see a mini me. And I'm glad that we're in a space now, though, where it may look a little different, but we could still have it if we wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
Like science is on our
absolutely,
side. So I just
exactly.
hope that more people in the African American community really start talking about what family planning or freezing your eggs and all that other stuff really looks like. So,
Mhm. Exactly. See, because I would have if I would have known that, I would have probably done something like that. Who
right.
knows what I would have done, but, yeah, I missed my moment on that one, so it's okay, got great family, but it's that career move, and I'm glad that you brought that up because that is very, very important that young women need to know. Make that decision, and again, it's cool now to be pregnant, like Rihanna, she can sport her
Rihanna,
pregnancy.
Cardi, Beyonce, all of them,
All of them, they just sporting it like, yeah. I'm like, "Okay, we couldn't
Yeah.
do that back in the day, but
Right.
it's all good
They're
though,
having
it's all
gender
good."
reveal parties if you're a newscaster on your show, like, it's a beautiful
Mhm.
thing. Before, it was like a curse, like, "Shh, you're
Okay.
gonna lose your fan base if they think you're having sex or that you're married," or, just like the artists, you didn't know if they were married and had kids because you had to keep it quiet. So,
Exactly.
a whole
Hey,
new day.
wow. Times have changed, and,
Mhm.
the fact is that you're still here to go with the change of the times, so that makes it all worth it in the end, I
Yeah.
think. I believe that we're still standing.
Yes, ma'am,
You're
we
still
are.
dancing. Okay, you're still dancing, and I'm still rocking the mic, so,
Absolutely.
hey, again, with that seasoning
Yeah.
which makes it even better.
Yeah.
So we're wishing you the luck, and hopefully when everything you get your deal, you're gonna come back on the Urban Influences and tell us more about it, and
Yes.
because we're gonna have to make a big old debut and just really, boost it up and have all kind of stuff going on for you.
Absolutely. I'm with it. I'm with it. Yolanda, thank you so much for having me, sis. I'm proud of you and all that you've done for media as well. So thank
Same
you.
here, same here. You one of mines that I look up to, and and that's what about we're sisters and we love is no, oh my goodness, why it happened out because it was supposed to. And look how we go back years later, we have an
Hmm.
opportunity to sit down and just compare notes and just talk about it. So thank you. Thank you, my sister, for that. So hey, we can't wait to have you back on the Urban Influences again, okay?
Thank you so much. Bye,
Um,
Mama. Bye, y'all.
bye bye.
I don't know what you're doing right now. I'm tripping on you, baby. What you have done. You stepped in, you stole my heart. Now you're on the run. You promised you always loved me. What happened tonight? You must be sleeping and you got my mind tripping, baby. you are? I don't know. Who do you think you are? You keep running back and forth. Make up your mind and wasting time not playing with my heart. Don't you know what this is? You got me confused with some little girl. Who do you think you are? I don't know. Who do you think you are?
I love your dress, I love your heels too, I love your perfume, I wanna put it all on too. Can I take your bag? Bonjour, I'm your boyfriend too. Wanna live your life, ain't not your best friend, boo. Girl, like your style, like your shoes, like your hair, like your boobs. And I wanna say more, I wanna have it all. It's not an envy, just something between you and me. Something that I can't explain, that's the rules of a friend's game. Give me that, give me your money. Take your glasses cause it's sunny. Wanna call your boyfriend honey, he will call me mommy. It's not an envy, not a greediness too. I'm not a copycat, I'm your bitch friend. I love your dress, I love your heels too, I love your perfume, I wanna put it all on too. Can I take your bag? Bonjour, I'm your boyfriend too. Wanna live your life, ain't not your best friend, boo. Yeah, I'm the bitch friend, yeah, I'm the bitch friend. Take your money, it will never end, it will never end. Yeah, she the bitch friend, yeah, she the bitch friend. Take your money, it will never end, it will never end. Not only girls have that bitch friend, I'm that one sitting in my friend's Benz. I'm that one who be playing that game, and I'm not ashamed, cause kidding is sharing, that's what they say. Can I have it all? Steal your girl, give her diamonds and pearls, buy her dresses and furs. Whose money? Yours? Yours. We sharing it all, both loving it all. Two kings on the throne, that's what I want. It's not an envy, not a greediness too. I'm not a copycat, I'm your bitch friend. Can I have your watch? Let's order a bottle or two. I don't want Grey Goose, them girls like Crystal. Ooh, you have a Ferrari, I'll be driving it too. Well, I'm your best friend, money raining on us too. Yeah, I'm the bitch friend, yeah, I'm the bitch friend. Take your money, it will never end, it will never end. Yeah, she the bitch friend, yeah, she the bitch friend. Take your money, it will never end, it will never end. Sharing meant for two, boo, what can I do? If I had the money, I would share it too. Now how about you? Now how about you? If I had the money, I would share it too.
feel life changing. We was rolling up spliffs back to back, out your mama truck blazing. With no care, well, youngest always been the baby. Then you grew up, put some new rims on the wheel. Life's fucking going crazy. Oh, you stunning like your daddy, baby. You just live for everybody else, don't you? You should try doing shit that you'll never do. Do it feel like your life changing? 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 Cause I switch it up, make it feel like it's never enough. Even though it's time to pack it up, I'm submissive but don't get it fucked up. Cause I act like I'm chillin', get bucked. Shoulda knew what it was. Knew what it was. You just live for everybody else, don't you? You should try doing shit that you'll never do. Do it feel like your life changing? 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 Change coming out the way, you gotta get ready. Change is coming out the way, you better get ready. Change coming out the way, you gotta get ready. Change coming out the way, you gotta get ready.
Did a lot of sacrifice and paid the price. No one see my vision, so I had to give it life. Dark in that tunnel, but I knew I see the light. Illuminate my mind so I can see through the night. Been a hustler from day one. Used to move the weight by the ton. Always try to put my people on and my loved ones. 6 states on my back coming from New England. Had a lot of people try to do me wrong. That's okay, I keep it moving on. Cut off the dead weight, put me in my throne. Tamala Jones said I'm a king, stay strong. Life's an everyday hustle, so I had to figure it out. So rumble, young man, rumble. Sometimes you gon' stumble, but you gotta stay on your grind. Eventually you make boss moves.
The work of a hustler is never done. They gon' say you change when you level up. Sometimes when you on the grind, you gotta leave old things behind and do what bosses do. View what the bosses view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
Companies wanna control me like a corporate drone. Fuck that, bossed up, did it on my own. They all say the same thing, yeah, they think I'm dumb. Brought the millions and they try to give me crumbs. I'm from the school of the hard knocks. Move slick like a silver fox. Try to use me for my talent, put me in a box. So I went independent, y'all can kick rocks. And I see you at the top. You ain't God like me, but you gon' respect the hustle. Different frequency, I'm on a whole nother level. Moving through the system, even though it's systemic. I can show you how to get money in a pandemic. Marathon continues. R.I.P. to my nigga Nipsey, we miss you. Gotta keep my mind real sharp like a Ginsu. Out here every day, yeah, I'm making boss moves.
The work of a hustler is never done. They gon' say you change when you level up. Sometimes when you on the grind, you gotta leave old things behind and do what bosses do. View what the bosses view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
Don't let your friends say you change cause you level up. Ain't your fault that they don't wanna step it up. Even when you try to motivate them, push them harder. If they don't give a damn, why should you even bother? Bring you to the well, but you gotta drink the water. My father worked hard, he taught me to work smarter. Even though we come from the same place, I chose a different path. I'm trying to elevate my people, my culture. Show you how to move in a room full of vultures. If you trying to do the same thing, come closer. There's a lot of ignorance we gotta get over. Past generational wealth to our son and daughters. No 40 acres in a mule that they promise us, and they give all the wealth to all the foreigners. But we built this country, time to take a cut.
The work of a hustler is never done. They gon' say you change when you level up. Sometimes when you on the grind, you gotta leave old things behind and do what bosses do. View what the bosses do.